The question of suffering is in our faces every day. We're inundated with news of wars, crime, bullying, traffic accidents, deadly diseases, natural disasters, and the list goes on and on and on. But we're not only confronted by news of suffering, but we have all personally encountered suffering in one way or another. We might be facing illness, financial pressure, depression, relationship breakdowns, the loss of a loved one, or just caring for an aging parent. Whatever the particular struggle we face, the question of suffering is one of the hardest questions of life. And for many, it is the question that creates the biggest obstacle to faith in Jesus. There are many things to say about suffering, but here are 3 brief thoughts about God and suffering. The first is, the question of suffering is not a problem unique to Christianity. Every worldview needs to provide an answer to the question of evil and suffering. For the atheist, who believes that the universe came into existence randomly, suffering is a random event that the universe doesn't care about. Karma tells us that what goes around comes around, and so the answer to suffering is that we are getting what we deserve. This is not just a question Christianity needs to deal with. We must first see if our current worldview holds up under its weight. Second, what the Christian worldview does say is that God is not removed from our suffering. The Bible tells us that God cares and He understands our suffering. And we know that to be true because Jesus came from heaven to earth and became a sufferer alongside humanity. The Bible describes Jesus as a man of sorrows. He gets angry at injustices around him. We see him weep and mourn for people he loves. He's wrongly accused, unfairly tried, and eventually killed as an innocent man. He knows what it is to suffer. Third, Jesus not only suffers alongside us, but for us. When he's wrongly tried and put to death on a cross, he suffers a death that you and I deserve. He suffers in our place to pay the penalty for our sin. And the reason he does this is because he loves each one of us. And out of his love, he pays the ultimate price to take away suffering. And so, whilst we may suffer now, we know that in eternity, through Jesus, there will be no more. The Bible actually promises this to us in Revelation 21. He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death, or mourning, or crying, or pain, for the old order of things has passed away. The question of suffering is not an easy one, and the Christian worldview doesn't take it away or make it any easier, but it sure will give you real hope in the midst of it.